Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the news with a conservative spin to it, which is basically just preaching the truth, am I right? And today we're talking about Trump securing peace in the Middle East, and will go down, if this fully goes through, as the peacemaker president, and I'll have to say, and I already believe it, one of the greatest presidents in modern history. If this goes through, the greatest president in modern history. Nobody's been able to do it. The last person close to doing even something remotely like this would be Reagan, which is another Republican president. It's in our blood. The peace is in our blood as Republicans and conservatives who want nothing but the best for everybody. SCOTUS defends faith. We'll break that one down for you. And there's also more chaos to be exposed, and we'll make sure we bring everything and more in today's episode of the Bald Brad Show. If you haven't already, make sure you head over to baldbrad.com and you check out our store. We sell merchandise, a lot of patriotic gear. We got some with our logos. We got some merch with the American Minutemen, a Revolutionary War patriot, baby, which is what we all represent as well, because if we were ever called to either go to war or if our government goes usurpacious, well, we are the militia, we are the Minutemen, and we must rise up. So we got women's tees, we got men's tees, we got mugs, we got stickers, we have the whole shebang. And then if you also head over to baldbrad.com, again, that's bald because I am bald, it's baldbrad.com. You can go ahead and pick up yourself a copy of my book, Trojan Horse, How the Left Destroys America. And what that's all about is, well, what you're seeing, how they've infiltrated our institutions, how they utilized race to push different initiatives, and a lot more. Pick up yourself a copy. And if you already read it, well, hey, what are you doing? Buy another copy and get it for somebody else because you thought it was so damn good. Well, I appreciate all of you being here, folks. Let's jump right into the news. Enough of me trying to sell myself. Let's get into the piece. Marco Rubio, during Donald Trump having a meeting with various people, I mean, Pam Bondi was there, Marco Rubio comes and whispers in his ear sweet nothings, and that was the peace agreement being close. So President Donald Trump announced on Wednesday that Israel and Hamas have agreed to terms on the first phase of a peace deal that could, keyword could, end the war in Gaza. And I pray that this happens. And it's so funny because you say things like that and people go, oh God, gee, you're so pro-Israel, you're a Zionist. It's like, bro, I just want people to stop being deleted left and right, man. I mean, it's young men. I mean, over there, it's young men and women and sometimes children. But I'm just tired of guys my age having to, lose their life over this stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Ukraine, Russia. It could be Israel, Hamas. It's always something. Can we just have a time, just like a time in my lifetime, your lifetime of just peace? Am I right? Trump was hosting a public event with several independent journalists, and I believe they were talking about Antifa. They had Nick Shirley there, who we've covered here on Dark MAGA, the guy that does on the street interviews with the mic and kind of gets harassed a lot. He goes to a lot of these riots and stuff. When Marco Rubio when he was approached by Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, after whispering something in Trump's ear, Rubio then handed the president a handwritten note, and people actually got pictures of it, which based on photographs appeared to say that a deal was very close. It then said, need you to approve a Truth Social post soon so you can announce the deal first. And that's when Donald Trump came out and had the Truth Social post read, I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon. That's a big deal. We'll see if they actually follow through, right? I'm not holding my breath with it, but I definitely am wishing that this takes place. And Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Now, I don't know if the first phase, I haven't seen anything in terms of what the timeline was, but I was told by the Associated Press that Hamas is responsible for 28 dead hostages, though it's unclear whether the terror group can locate and retrieve them. And then they're also plan to release 20 living hostages, so that makes the 48. Once the Israeli cabinet approves this agreement, remember, this is by the Associated Press, the terror group has 72 hours to return the hostages. So we'll see here, because I thought all this was supposed to take place right when the deal was given. I guess not. The odd thing is that I was hearing rumors that Israel accepted this whole thing on Friday. So now they're accepting it today. What the hell is today? Thursday? So you got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So by Saturday, during a certain hour, I guess all 48 of these better be happening. Now, I'm wondering if Hamas is scrambling to find these dead hostages, because I don't know if they can even find them. But shout out to Donald Trump. And when we were looking yesterday, if you watched the afternoon show that we did, because we weren't able to do a morning show, you had people on X saying, oh, well, Donald Trump's just doing this for himself. He's so what was it? Like, oh, he's just all about himself. He just wants to do this for the Nobel Peace Prize. It's like, he should have already gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. He's already solved 7 wars since he's been in office. What'd Joey do? What'd Barack Obama do? Obama didn't do anything, and he got the Nobel Peace Prize. So I would say Donald Trump should already get it just for what he has done. But don't worry. Oh, he's selfish. He just wants the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, if you're going to be selfish and greedy, let's just give him the argument for the sake of the argument. Okay. So he's a selfish guy. And through his selfishness, he created peace in the Middle East and everywhere else around the world. Oh, gee, what a terrible guy. You know what I mean? Just saving thousands of lives. Oh, well, who cares? He's selfish. Yeah. So he didn't deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. He's so selfish that he wants everybody else to live. What a stupid argument. It really is stupid. So you have a peace deal in Gaza. You got the peace deal happening. I want to see if we can pull up some quick clips here on what people are saying. But here's Eric Doherty, who we cover a lot here. The White House just released an epic photo of President Trump in the Oval Office as the historic and unprecedented Gaza peace deal became reality. Caitlin Collins was actually on the news. Matter of fact, I'll pull that clip up for you. She was doing a podcast, and she was talking about when Donald Trump goes to, like, the Middle East and all these other countries, even she is amazed at how much little sleep Donald Trump gets. So let me see if I can find that for you. It's Caitlin Collins. I'm not a fan of Caitlin Collins, but at least she's speaking truth for once and telling things like it is. So here she is.
Not really.
And nor does President Trump. No, I know. I slept 4 hours last night.
And you feel fine? Okay, that's
I'm on this is my 4th cup of coffee.
4 hours is nuts. 4 hours is Trump level.
4 hours. Yeah. And the night before was like 6. Before that was like 7. So it varies. But is that what he sleeps? Like 4 hours?
He does not sleep.
Yeah. I did Fox and Friends finance segment, and it was just on Gen Z's and finance. And one of the executive producers, like, we just want to show you around. And they showed me the control room. And I said, how have things been in the control room as of late? And she's like, none of us are sleeping because the president doesn't sleep. We're all working 2 times right now. Do you feel that same way?
I was just talking to someone about this because we wrote this story on what traveling with him is like in the first term, because I had this source who said, you never want to be on Air Force One on a trip. And I said, why? Like, you'd think you want to be in the axis of power close to Trump. He doesn't sleep on these trips. And you're going to Asia or something, and that's kind of the only time you're going to sleep before you go on this trip.
Yeah.
But Trump is just always up and talking, and he'll have them go wake staff up if they're asleep because he wants to talk to them. Huh. And so we have this big trip to Asia coming up, and you're not going to sleep on that flight.
Well, it's probably one of the few honest things she said in quite some time. Now, I did want to still go back to the Trump thing. Gave you some time to pull up some clips for you. So here's the latest. Donald Trump announces it, right? And then Eric Doherty posts the clip with Donald Trump in the Oval. After dealing with Joe Biden, it's almost still in shock and awe that there's a president in the Oval Office. Am I right? That he's not sleeping or his CPAP machine's hooked up to his face for oxygen. He's just out there always working late at night. The guy never sleeps, busting his butt. The greatest president ever, man. Truthfully. So here's Fox. Talk about this monumental peace deal.
It's a great honor to be involved in it. We had some tremendous help, as you know, with everybody from Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco, and we had everybody. JD, the whole group was just amazing, and the military was, as you know, very instrumental in getting this done. We have a great military with great leadership. the whole world came together, to be honest. So many countries that you wouldn't have even thought of it, they came together. The world has come together around this deal. And that's something I would say that without that wouldn't happen. So many countries that you wouldn't have thought of have wired their best wishes and their commitment to do whatever is necessary. The countries surrounding have all signed. I mean, they're all signed up, and it's been really an amazing period of time, and so great for Israel, so great for Muslims, for the Arab countries, and so great for this country, for the United States of America, and that we could be involved in, making a deal like this happen, because it was, many years they talked about peace in the Middle East. This is more than Gaza. This is peace in the Middle East, and it's an incredible thing.
What a selfish guy. You know what I mean? It's not my words. That's what I'm being told by everybody that's a Democrat and a leftist. What a selfish guy. Giving praise to Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, all the entire Arab nations, the whole world. What a selfish SOB. The guy's terrible. It's like, come on, man. It's so wild, man. These people are so deranged. And this said it perfectly. I couldn't wait to show you guys this one. Democrats trying to figure out how to make Trump out to be a fascist for creating a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Or a Nazi. Yeah. The guy's helping Jews. He's helping Arabs. Like, the guy's helping Muslims. Like, he's helping freaking everybody around the world. Cambodia. I mean, you name it. You throw a dart at the board. Trump's just trying to help. They don't know what to do. Democrats don't have a flying you-know-what on how to spin this one. But they'll try. They will try. I mean, even ABC's giving the guy praise.
Heard it again and again from a number of people today, really giving credit to President Trump for getting this deal over the finish line. What are you hearing from your sources with regard to President Trump's role in getting both parties to sign off on at least the first phase of this peace plan?
Well, certainly this is an enormous moment for the world, but also for this administration, a big win for the president, who has been very personally involved in this, Lindsay.
We've heard it again and again.
Now, what are the odds? I mean, you know what the deal should have been? That you wanted the 20 hostages up front that are alive. That way you get everybody that's alive back. And then, terribly, that those that are deceased, if you don't get them back, well, at least they're not being like locked and chained up, allegedly, if that makes sense. So here's the famous whisper to President Trump that the approval is needed and you have to leave the meeting, sir.
Criminal conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just given. I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
Criminal conspiracy.
So people did get somehow, I don't know how the heck they got that angle. Somebody from like his side was able to grab screenshots or photographs of the paper. At least it wasn't one of Joe Biden's, palm tickets that tell people who they were. Matter of fact, did you guys know, I forgot to share this with you like 2 weeks ago. Did you know that, you're going to love it. Did you know that so I don't know if they found it in the White House, or I believe they found it in the White House like 2 weeks ago. One of the palm cards that Joe Biden used to have. And it was when he was giving Hillary Clinton it was like the Medal of Freedom or something. Y'all remember that? I kid you not, it had a picture. It had a picture of her on it, meaning Hillary Clinton. And then it said, was the Secretary of State on it? Under the Obama-Biden administration. Bro, she worked with the guy for 8 years or however long she was Secretary of State. She worked with the guy. He didn't know who she was. He's putting the medal around her. You don't know who she is. He had to have her face on it. Like, who the hell doesn't know who Hillary Clinton is? So here it is. Him not knowing who she is. Y'all remember this? Not to open up old wounds. Oh God. I wish I could find the palm card. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hilarious. Cracking my you-know-what off.
President Board need process.
I want to see if we can find a picture. We can't. But anyways, I kind of miss Joe. Now, I don't miss Joe for him being a terrible president. I miss Joe for the content. He's always just bringing up luscious, lucrative content for all of us. So you have right here, CNN not even able to spin this peace deal that Donald Trump made. Here we go.
Not doable when President Biden was in office.
I think the biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt. They were actually facilitating in many ways what was going on. And that is really ultimately how it all came together.
So, I mean, but I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement Trump has changed that dynamic.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think
absolutely. That. I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he changed. And I think there's.
I think he was about to say, I don't know how he did it.
A lot that.
Hold on.
I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he.
I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he
changed. He's clearly.
I don't know how he.
Changed.
And I think there's a lot that remains to learn about what prompted that change. But I do agree. Yes, somehow, some way that changed. What I
think that this was not.
We're just gonna hold this. Let's just bask in this a little bit. I don't know how he was able to do it. Yeah, isn't that time and time again? Nobody knows. The guy's great. How many times have I said that we get still another 3 years and 2 months with Trump in office? Folks, it hasn't even been 9 months yet. Right? Because it was January 20th or 24th or something like that. Yeah, it's only October 9th. Look what the guy's done. I mean, it feels like he's been in office for years and just getting things done. Unbelievable. Told he could never do it. Oh, he'll never get the Arab nations on board, really, because he did it once. He did it the first time. Usually, if you're able to do it time and time again, you probably know what you're doing. So they don't have an actual clue over at CNN what's going on. So we'll make sure, obviously, that we keep you updated on everything regarding that. Well, we have more news other than just the peace deal. But if you're enjoying what you're hearing, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We do this each and every morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. A lot of lurkers behind the scenes, but we'd love to get you in the live chat. We'd love for you to hit that like button. It does help support me and the show and get conservative thought and ideas out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. Be involved. Okay. Well, gear up because SCOTUS hears Colorado's conversion therapy case. The U.S. Supreme Court heard oral arguments this week in a case addressing the legality of so-called conversion therapy. Historically, the term referred to counseling or treatment aimed at changing a person's sexual orientation from gay to straight. However, leftist activists now use the label more broadly. We keep hearing this term come up broadly about things, especially when it comes to illegal immigrants are broadly not able to tap into Medicaid. Okay, so they can. Applying it to efforts that encourage transgender students to accept their biological sex. And by the way, we covered this, 3-4 years ago? This conversion therapy is going on in middle school and high school campuses without parental acknowledgement, and the administration doesn't know in some cases, or the parents don't know. The administration does know that there's these clubs going on, and those clubs are performing conversion therapy during it after school hours. Crazy. The case where the plaintiff, a Christian counselor named Kaylee Childs, is challenging a law in Colorado that's been dubbed the minor conversion therapy law. It was passed in 2019 by a Democrat-controlled legislature. Of course it was. And it bans counseling that attempts to purport to change an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity. What I think they're talking about here is, as a Christian counselor, is that you're trying to talk to somebody through the use of the scriptures, another Christian, by the way, that you're counseling them. So a Christian counseling a Christian saying, hey, you're not supposed to do this. We understand you have these thoughts, but acting out upon it isn't great as well. And so basically you need to stop doing what you're doing. Now, being gay is no different than any other sin that we would commit as men, whether it's like having those thoughts as there's like a sexy woman walking by, like, we're men. We have a tough time with that. I think a lot of us would say, including myself. It's not easy to look at a babe in a bikini or hell like Anna Paulina Luna and not have some sort of thought that you're not supposed to be having. Does that make sense? So we all have our challenges here. The question is if you act out upon it or not. Well, the plaintiff's legal team, Alliance Defending Freedom, they do a lot of great work, by the way, says that Chili's, or Childs, I can't freaking know, is currently under investigation by the state of Colorado over this law, and they've stressed that minors are being deprived of her services. The state of Colorado argues that this is not a free speech issue, but rather a matter of regulating conduct and medical treatment, even if that, quote, medical treatment is only speech, like talk therapy. The law is then constitutional, according to state attorneys. Colorado says that the talk therapy that doesn't affirm the gender confused is harmful to children, which the state bases on experts, and the so-called medical consensus. Now, what to watch here is the justices appear to be leaning in favor of the plaintiff and not just the conservatives. Liberal Justice Elena Kagan seemed to side with Justice Samuel Alito when he said the Colorado law seemed like, quote, blatant viewpoint discrimination. A ruling is expected next summer, and if the tea leaves are being read correctly, an overturning of this Colorado law could influence similar laws in dozens of other states. Now, you could get into some weird territory here with it, is that, well, that's going to allow these therapists to now gender affirm people's care. So it kind of goes a little bit both ways, but I'm always on the side of never limiting somebody's freedoms and liberties at all, with the consequence of knowing that something horrible could come out of it. That's the tendency where I lean personally, because what the left says with a lot of these arguments in terms of like transgenderism and like women, men and women's locker room, for example, they always go, well, it only happens like 10 times out of the entire nation. It's such like a small proportion or percent that's actually doing that. Is it really that big of a deal? Is it really worth having a conversation about? Yes, just because something's small doesn't mean it's not worth having a conversation about or taking it up to the Supreme Court, because a small problem could turn into a big problem. You could also look at it that way. Or, just because something's small, like maybe the homicide rate somewhere is really small, well, you should still address it because it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big, small thing, if that makes sense as well. So you can look at it both sides, and I think you understand what I'm saying. I'm not very eloquent in talking about it, but I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. Authorities have arrested suspected Palisades Fire arsonist. This guy, and I'll see if they have everything that I know. I was reading about this yesterday because obviously I live in California, Southern California, and well, let's see what they got here. Authorities have arrested 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknet. Jeez, can we just get some simple names like Smith every once in a while? Rinderknecht. Sounds German. Who they say intentionally sparked the fire that destroyed the Pacific Palisades. This individual is an Uber driver who now lives in Melbourne, Florida. Officials from the Justice Department and the Los Angeles Police Department held a joint press conference on Wednesday, according to Day. This fire eventually became the Palisades Fire after it was rekindled by severe winds a week later. So what happened was he started this fire, and from what I'm hearing, he actually did try dialing 911 the moment that it started, but he couldn't get through. And that he kept trying and trying and trying, couldn't get through. And by the time he was able to get through, the other people that knew about the fire were able to call 911. The firefighters put the fire out. And what happened was it was kindling under the brush. And then when we had that wind that picked up, obviously it picked it up, restarted it. And that's why you had the Palisades Fire. And what made the Palisades Fire so drastic was all that wind that we had over there. So according to U.S. Attorney, the individual was in Pacific Palisades late on New Year's Eve after working throughout the evening. He drove toward Skull Rock Trailhead, got out of his car and walked up a trail to a nearby hilltop where he recorded videos and listened to a rap song, according to the attorney U.S. attorney, the song was accompanied by a music video showing objects being set on fire. In addition to that, the Uber driver's phone had images he created with ChatGPT of people fleeing from burning forests. That's weird. Another ChatGPT search made around the time he called 911 to report the fire said, "Are you at fault if a fire is lit because of your cigarettes?" Well, there you have it. So I don't know what happens with somebody. Let's see the charges on this one. Not a clue. He is only charged with destruction of property by means of fire. Wow. So through this, he faces up to 20 years in prison. 20 years out of this, the blaze eventually became one of the worst in California history. It deleted 12 people, destroyed 7,000 structures, resulting in $150 billion in damages. Wow. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And it's, I mean, if you're chat GPTing stuff and it's like, you're talking about fire, it almost makes it seem like he did it on purpose, right? And I don't know how, it's really dry up there. It really, I mean, it's everywhere in California is dry because Gavin Newsom doesn't want to clear up any of the brush. Does a cigarette really, is that going to spark a fire? Because I don't know. I got my antennas going up. I mean, I think it can if you like hold it down, but maybe. I mean, I wouldn't disbelieve it. Let's say that. Let's get into some other news here. I was posting a lot of stuff on my X page. By the way, if you don't follow me on X, what are you doing? Make sure you head over there and follow me. We got a lot of people that check it out. We have Cory Booker voted to shut down the government. Now he claims he's worried about the people. This guy's such a dodo bird, man. Listen to this. It's quick.
Do you worry at all that prolonging the shutdown could backfire on Democrats?
Oh, I worry not about the politics. I worry about the people.
Oh,
do you worry at all?
That sounded so disingenuous. I don't worry about I worry about the people. Really? You're the side of government. Brad, you're not going to go on a rant today. You're having a peaceful morning, hanging out with your friends in the live chat. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do it. Cory? Come on, guys. Everybody come in. Mic check. Yep. Come in. Yeah, come on. I'm waiting. Huddle up. Hut. Cory's worried about the people. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Mr. Potato Head. Cory, if you're so worried about the people, why'd you allow millions of people to pour across the border for 4 years without being vetted? Why'd you allow terrorists in the country? Murderers, drug traffickers, the whole gambit, the whole bit. Why'd you do that if you care about the people? Why, Cory, are you allowing our cities to be ravaged by gang members and violent criminals every day? You're about the people. Now, if you're so about the people, why is it that you want to raise taxes all the time, take more money out of Americans' pockets that they're not going to get back? Hey, Cory, why do you always want to increase the debt ceiling? Why do you always want to increase the limit, which is only going to cause us to have more interest payments, which is going to surpass Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security? Why are you doing that, Cory? Hey, you're for the people, right? Hey, you're for the people. You heard from Cory. Why is it that your guy on the Democrat side of the aisle pulled out of Afghanistan that led to 13 service members being blown to bits and given the Taliban, our enemy, about billions of dollars worth of military grade equipment? It's for the people, you guys. For the people. You heard it from it. It is not me. He said it, not me. We also have Nick Shirley here going to the White House yesterday and talking to Donald Trump about Antifa. You've seen him before, and I'm glad he was invited. So is James Klug, who does a lot of the reporting here in Southern California, over there in Laguna, and then Huntington Beach. You guys seen him? Has the beard like me and the ball cap. Well, he's talking about Antifa attacking the press, and basically Portland doesn't care, which is no shock. We talk about it in our book, Trojan Horse. Portland doesn't care.
The truth is being shown. Antifa has been running their operation in a building right next to an ICE facility for over 100 days. And legacy media has never even gone to show what was happening there. And it just took a few independent journalists like myself to show America what was actually happening.
I mean, they're accusing you guys of recycling video that's like 4 years old. I mean, what have you seen recently that just shocked you?
Yeah, just how Portland PD, they would not stand up for the independent journalists when it was very obvious. There was video footage of them getting attacked by some of these Antifa members, And it just happened that for some reason these independent journalists could actually beat these Antifa guys in a fight when it came down to it, and they arrested them.
Here's my fear, and I said this before. Antifa will delete you, man. If they snuff that you're a Republican, it's different when you're on the streets doing these, I guess, coverage of Antifa, these riots, these whatever you want to call them, protest, anti-ICE, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And you're kind of an unknown person, somebody, nobody knows your face. They don't know your image. They don't really know what you stand for. You're just out there doing some videos. But Nick, being with Donald Trump in the White House, now he's on Fox News. People are able to spot him out everywhere now. And my fear is that, you know, they're going to harm him out there on the streets. Because, dude, he lets these guys get so close to him. Do you guys remember the clips I was showing you? Let me show you a few stuff. But, dude, they throw stuff at him. I watched so many of these, and we've covered him on Dark MAGA. They just start harassing him all the time. So here's the latest one, by the way, that kind of went viral with a sniper from a tower pointing it at the Antifa member.
Hey, what are you
Get
doing?
The fuck out
Hey,
of here, man.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, get the fuck out
You get out of here. Don't try to hit me.
Get out of here.
Well, I have
Get
no.
out of here. Don't come back.
Get away from me.
I see you again.
Get away from me, sir.
Dude, get the
Where are
fuck
you? You're pushing me onto the road.
Get the fuck out of here.
Let me move. Let me get out. If you're gonna let me get out.
Fucking walk.
Hey, sir, stop it.
Fucking walk.
Stop.
Walk, motherfucker.
What are you doing? Why are you so mad? I didn't do anything.
You did.
What did I do?
Walk.
I haven't done anything.
Walk, motherfucker. Do not come back.
Watch out.
You come back, I'm gonna fucking smoke you, dude.
Really?
Did you hear that? And look, I mean, I praise Nick, man. The guy has some balls, dude. I don't know if he's a single man, but dude, if you got a wife, you got to start thinking about stuff a little bit different, brother. You hear that?
Watch out.
You come back, I'm gonna fucking smoke you, dude. Fucking smoke you, dude. Fucking smoke you, dude. Fucking smoke you, dude. Fucking smoke you, dude.
Really?
Yes, really. I'm
Why?
gonna smash that fucking camera.
Stop it. Stop. Sir, stop it.
Stop sticking your camera in people's fucking face.
I have the right to be here.
Okay, did I say
I have the right to be here. I have the right to film. You have DHS watching you right there, lasered on you. You have a sniper lasered on you right now.
I don't give a fuck.
Stop it.
Stop sticking your camera in people's face.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
You have a sniper on you right now. You have a sniper on you right now.
I don't know if it was a sniper. It could have just been a laser pointer or something like that. But like I said, these people, man, they'll just delete you, and they're open about it. That's how crazy these people are. And I hope that Nick Shirley stays safe. But here he was yesterday talking about everything that's been going on. And he was and telling Trump what he's been able to report on for the past year, from gangs in Brazil to the if you remember, he did a whole thing about going to that, what is it called, SCOTUS, that prison down south where these gang members don't ever get out. They're in there for the rest of their life. So he's talking to Trump about it. Here we go.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Nick Shirley. I'm 23 years old. I'm a 100% independent YouTube journalist. And over the past year or so, I've been able to go to 15 countries. I've hung out with people in the gangs of Brazil, in the favelas, in the prisons of SCOTUS. But yet the most dangerous places I have been here in the United States, unfortunately. And I've had the opportunity to show people about the protest Antifa here in the United States, and there's nothing organic about what they are doing here in the United States. I've watched people be bussed in from states. I've watched the same lady at a protest in Atlanta be bused to protest in DC and then in New York City. There's nothing that is honest about what they are doing. And they have signs. I've seen the same signs here in DC and in London as well. It's a big organization and corporation that they're running. And people may wonder, like, what's the threat to us as Americans if we go? Well, you'll be labeled as a fascist, you'll be labeled as a Nazi, and they'll wish death upon you because they wish death upon me.
Yep,
and
we just watched it.
Last week in Portland, Oregon, I watched a lady get trapped in her car, surrounded by Antifa, and her sister messaged me after seeing the video. She said, the only reason I think my sister was safe is because you were there recording. I also was chased out by a member of Antifa who said he would smoke me And next thing he knew, a DHS sniper had lasers on his chest. If he was not there, who knows what would have happened that day. These people are very dangerous, and people wonder how they're able to do it. It's the reason is because these cities are not enforcing the law. And why should these people be worried if the law is not being enforced? And we are not far right, nor are we far wrong. We're just right. And the truth about what's happening here in America with these groups is very dangerous. And I thank you, Mr. President, and your administration as well for acknowledging that.
Thank you very much. It's too bad you have to go through it.
I know, it's a little crazy, right, Mr. President?
Well, you're going to get to the bottom of it, so it's a very important thing you're doing. Thank you very much.
Well, not just important, Mr. President, but dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous. And shout out to Nick Shirley. Shout out to Savannah Hernandez that's there. James Klug, I believe, was there. There was other independent journalists. I'm just not aware of who was all invited. But shout out to guys who are out there dealing with Antifa. And I'm not willing to put my life on the line like that. I have a family. I'm not saying he doesn't. But it's just... You can't put a price on your life, and all it takes is one guy that doesn't care. And as you say, well, they'll just smoke you, folks. They'll smoke you. We have other news here where CNN is revealing that conservatives have ditched the mainstream media and now rely on X for news. The reason why that's a big deal in the transition that I'm doing here is places like Nick Shirley's YouTube channel, or The Bald Brad Show, for example, or James Klug, these other independent people where I'm not bought by a corporation. Some of these big conservatives, folks, are bought and funded by some sort of corporation or mega donor or investor. And sometimes those donors and investors already align with your values, so it's no big deal. You don't have to change anything. It's always nice to get somebody that's not bought by somebody, and you can just get to say whatever you want, and it's whatever you believe. And, sometimes you're going to be wrong. Sometimes I am wrong. And by the way, nothing happens. You're just wrong. And the hope is that you learn and change from it. It's not a big deal. I don't understand. I think people's egos are so big to where I don't know if they just want to be right. I just want to learn. That's how I am. So there's a great quote, and I'll get into what I want to talk about in a moment here. There's a great quote, I believe it's from Jordan B. Peterson, that you should go into every conversation thinking the other person knows more than you. Because when you think that, you're going to shut your mouth and you're going to listen. And so when I'm having a conversation with somebody, sure, depending on the topic, I do talk a lot, but also I just tend to listen and ask them questions and pick their brain and learn about something because they probably know more about it than I do. And by the way, that goes all the way down to high school students. I don't act like I know everything. I might know more than about, say statistics. I mean, that's my specialty, but it doesn't mean they wouldn't know more about, like, say, TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat or, kind of how the digital world is functioning in a different capacity than how I grew up. So sometimes you just need to shut up and listen and see what they have to say, and you can actually learn some stuff. And I do that with almost every conversation other than a freaking toddler. Because I know some of you are like, well, what about a baby, Brad? What about a baby? You going to listen to a toddler or 2-year-old cry? So I'm bringing this up because now they're not going to the mainstream media for news. No, they're going to places like X, YouTube, and others to get their information. Here we go.
Not at all. Specifically Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you've noticed a shift here.
Oh, I would think so. I think there are a lot of folks who have been on Twitter and may have realized, wait a minute, there seem to be a lot more Republicans in my feed, especially since Elon Musk took over. And oh my goodness gracious, what a tremendous, monumental shift on the regular news consumers on Twitter/X. You go back to 2021, the party ID margin. Democrats were 37 points more likely. You were 37 points more likely to be a Democrat on Twitter or X than a Republican. Jump ahead to this side of the screen. It's completely changed around. Oh my goodness gracious. Now it's a 14-point lead for Republicans on Twitter/X. We're talking about a 51-point shift in the margin. And John and I were talking about it just before. You can see it with your own eyes. This is polling reflecting what you're seeing in the social media real world, where all of a sudden, John, you just see a lot more Republicans in your feed.
I'm just going to go back because I want all of you to think about this again. So what this is showing is it's a little bit misleading on how he talked about it. I'm not blaming him. It says regular news consumers on Twitter, kind of explaining, oh, well, we weren't there to begin with. So, hey, well, because now Donald Trump may be in office or they don't trust the mainstream media, now they're flocking to X for their news. No. Listen very carefully at that ending. And he already said it before, but I want you to hear it again at the end, and you can put two and two together. There's something very interesting about this. Check this out again.
Reflecting what you're seeing in the social media real world, where all of a sudden, John, you just see a lot more Republicans in your feed.
Do you think maybe you see a lot more Republicans in your feed because Elon Musk bought it and they're not suppressing conservatives or Republicans anymore? Do you think maybe that's it? Do you think maybe, and we will see that now that TikTok has been bought, that maybe we'll see a lot more conservatives and Republicans able to talk about Trump and put hashtag Trump without that video being suppressed and getting virtually no views? Do you think maybe that might be a thing? I think it was all about suppression. And now that we're not having our voices suppressed anymore, turns out there's a lot more Republicans and conservatives on social media than people thought. A little bit misleading thinking that we're just now flocking over there to get news now. No. We've always been over there for the news. That's always been a thing. It's just now we're not being silenced. Now we can actually get our voices out there because you have somebody that believes in freedom of speech rather than censoring it. So shout out to CNN for actually covering the truth. Now, also what was taking place in Chicago yesterday was the starting of possible riots happening in Chicago. This was some footage that took place late last night, I believe. So for those on audio, there is a massive group with their signs, and obviously you have the truck that's probably for the cameras and microphones, talking about anti-ICE, and they don't want the National Guard to come in. Folks, this is Chicago, one of the most dangerous cities in an entire country. And there was people reporting yesterday, oh, well, I walk around the city all the time, me and my wife, and we're fine. It's like, bro, like 60 people are being deleted like every weekend. What are you talking about? It's just, there's a problem here that I've seen, that we live in two different realities. There's these leftists that live in one reality, and there's basically everybody else. And I'm going to lump the Democrats into that as well, because I think there's a lot of Democrats that are actually with us when it comes to certain things. So, for example, the transgender issue, believe it or not, a lot of Democrats are actually on Republican and conservative sides on that, because there's Democrats that are people of faith, and they don't want their kids being targeted and gone after, their parents as well. But there's also people that are within the Democrat Party, and there's a lot of them, by the way, that are called leftists that want to trans your kids. They want to allow crime to happen. They don't want to follow the law. They're off in the head. There's like a chemical imbalance. They need to seek help. I don't know what it is. I have friends that are Democrats. I grew up in Southern California. For the most part, they're normal people. I mean, Democrats used to believe in, this is a great photo. Democrats used to believe in ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. Now they're just like, give me free stuff. That's what that party is. And by the way, you guys know this. I always say, oh, the old school JFK Democrats. Those people are still around. They're kind of shifting now to our party. If you look at RFK Jr. as an example, Tulsi Gabbard's like an old school Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard's probably more in line with like a Bill Clinton era Democrat. If you listen to all of their speeches before, it almost, and I've said this in the past, if you listen to like JFK's speeches early on Bill Clinton, they almost just close your eyes and just pretend it's not Bill talking, actually sound Republican nowadays. Because Republicans have moved, Republican Party, believe it or not, has actually moved further center. The Democrats and people of the View, right, like Whoopi Goldberg will say, oh, well, you've gone further right. Like, no. And I don't like that we gone further center, by the way. I don't like that. What's an example of them moving further center? Because people don't want to believe me. Well, you can look at our spending. That is not a Republican behavior, by the way. And how bloated government has gotten. They've played part in all of that, folks. So not just from the bloating of government, hiring more people, hiring more three-letter agencies, to the utilization of, expanding our debt, all of that. And by the way, voting for things that will chisel away at our liberties and freedoms. All of that is the Democrat and Republican Party. Republican Party has moved further center. Conservatives have remained the same. But it's a little bit crazy, a little bit psycho, a little bit off the wall. But how do you rationalize with somebody that is just so far gone? You go into a mental asylum, and you're talking to somebody that's hearing voices and hitting their head against the wall, and you're trying to rationalize with them. You can't do it because there's a chemical imbalance. There's something wrong with them. And that's how the left are. I mean, if they're to the point where they're so comfortable, has anybody said that to anybody? Oh, I'm gonna smoke you. I'm gonna take you out. Has anybody posted on social media that they're gonna delete somebody? Because if you have, I'll be first to tell you or talking about something that you may not like, and you're like, and your intuition's like, I'm gonna smoke you and delete you. I'll be the first person to tell you, you got something wrong with you, man, and you need to go seek help. You need to read the scriptures. You need to cleanse your heart and your mind, because that ain't normal. And somebody in your life has to tell you that, because clearly if you're thinking those thoughts of, I'm just going to go smoke somebody and delete them, I'll be that person to bring some sanity back in your life. You need to help. That ain't normal. I can't even remember. I don't even think I've ever had that thought of like, oh, I'm going to go smoke somebody, or that person doesn't this. It's like, no, the people that I think should not exist are terrorists. Actual real evil people that harm people, torture people. Yeah, those people deserve to be burned and like gone off the face of the earth. Other than that, you have every right to say what you want. Just because somebody says something you don't like doesn't mean you just get to go harm them. I know it's obvious. Please understand that. I know I'm preaching to the choir and that all of you get that. But there might be one person in here that's like a psycho for all I know, and they're one of us. And I'm like, no, that's not going to fly here. Yeah, correct, Hans. I showed this yesterday, but I feel indulged to say it again and show it again because it's of topic and it's of conversation currently. Or as Karine Jean-Pierre likes to say, it's top of mind. So Nancy Pelosi, speaking of Democrats or really the left wanting to harm you, Nancy Pelosi refuses to call for Democrat Jay Jones to drop out of Virginia AG race. Now, if you recall, this guy was comfortable over text message saying that he wanted to delete people, or people should be deleted that are basically on the right-hand side of the aisle. And that's me being nice. It's one thing if it's like dark humor. I actually totally get that. We all say things that aren't what we actually mean. This one, the dude meant it, and he apologized for it. Now, if it's a joke or something, it's a weird joke, but we all say some weird stuff every now and then. Okay. But this wasn't.
A Democrat running for attorney general who's embroiled in a scandal over text messages in which he, the Democrat, said that the GOP Speaker of the House of Delegates should get 2 bullets to the head for how he paid tribute to a former moderate Democratic lawmaker who died. He has apologized. Should he get out of the race?
Well, that's up to the people, the leaders in Virginia. They have said he has apologized. What I understand is they say that on balance, he's the better person to be attorney general, but that's up to them.
On balance, he's the better person to be attorney general. The guy that's calling for, and I'll come back 36 seconds, the guy that says 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. This is the better guy? Find it a little hard to believe.
Fuss of all the times that people have said they were going to put a bullet in my head right in public, in the public domain.
I think it's because of
the times that people have said, balance, he's the better person to be attorney general. But that's up to them. But I wish there would be enough fuss of all the times that people have said they were going to put a bullet in my head right in public, in the public domain.
I think it's because of.
And I said yesterday on the afternoon show that I actually agree with Nancy Pelosi here on that specific part. Nobody should be ever saying that to anybody because they're of different political opinions. And Nancy, I agree with you. Yes, let us know who they are. I'll talk about it on my show. Nobody should be doing that. The problem is that it's mostly coming from your side. But hey, if you got somebody from our side saying stuff like that, let me know, because I don't want them a part of the Republican Party. They need to switch. They need to become, independent. They ain't conservative Republican. First of all, it's not even a conservative thing. And it's definitely not a Republican thing. So just because somebody says they're Republican doesn't mean they are one.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to ask you that. You are somebody who knows all too well in a horrific way.
We have to get rid of that kind of language. I mean, it's just not appropriate.
Start with yourself.
If you were Abigail Spanberger, who's the Democrat running for governor, would you call on him to step aside?
But she has to do what she has to do. She's going to be governor. She's running very well. Everybody's very proud of her candidacy, and her race is her race, and her state is her state, and it's up to her. I really don't get involved in other people's races, that the mayor of New York, that this, of that. It's up to the people in that state, and I respect their judgment and wish them well. And she and Mikey Sherrill will both be new women governors, and I'm very excited about that.
It's all about women governors, women this. It's like, look, I don't care if you're a woman. You could clearly govern, okay? Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a great woman, by the way, and actually smart, and she's the governor of Arkansas. I don't have any problems with that. They always think that us conservatives, Republicans have a problem with women in like leadership roles. My problem is that you are putting women in leadership roles because they are women, not for the fact of their heads on straight and their merit. That's what I care about. If you are a strong woman and you're smart and you know how to navigate things and negotiate and hustle and make wise decisions, by all means, do it. I don't have a problem with that. I love Nikki Haley, by the way, as the UN ambassador under Trump's first term. I actually think she's smart. I know she said some stuff that we didn't like during the campaign, but that's how politics are. You're going to say beef about one person versus another. Yeah, she said stuff about Trump. Trump said stuff about her. Trump says stuff about everybody. Doesn't mean we're not going to like the guy. That's how he is. That's how people are during politics, unfortunately. And Trump gets that. Everybody knows that. But there's this whole thing that they try to just gaslight people. Oh, the Republicans don't like this, or Republicans don't like women. It's like, give me a break, dude. Give me a freaking break. I love Sarah Huckabee Sanders. By the way, all of us were shouting out Kayleigh McEnany for years for her great job as the mouthpiece of the leader of the first world under Trump's administration, his first one. And by the way, I wish she was back. Nothing against Caroline Leavitt. She's great too, but you can't. Kayleigh McEnany will go down as the greatest press secretary in American history. We're not going to get another one like her. I wish we had her back. I just wish she would make like a celebrity appearance and cover just, sporadic. I got goosebumps saying it. Just show up one day and just run the White House press briefing just one time. They won't do it, but man, that would be a great Christmas gift. She walking out instead of Caroline. Oh, baby. The press would crap their diapers. Oh boy. There's like the pizza watching thing whenever like the Pentagon's working on something, they always watch the pizza being bought and delivered. We should have like a diaper watch where whenever the somebody big's coming in to deal with the press, they're all going to crap their pants. So they're going to go buy diapers. That's what we should be watching, is the diaper watch. I don't know if it's called Pizzagate or whatever. Diapergate. Hell, I don't know. All righty. Well, the government's still shut down. Trump announces his peace agreement. You got Antifa still out there acting amok. And, I think we covered a lot of the news that's going to be covered in today's podcast, or at least other influencers will be covering. I always appreciate you guys joining me here on the Bald Brad Show. Thank you to the regulars that are always in the chat. And by the way, thank you to everybody else that's behind the chat that just kind of listens while they're at work and they're not able to write and type. I know that you're there and I know that you're listening to me. God bless you. Appreciate you. And look, make sure you read your scriptures today. I'm going to push this more. Charlie Kirk talked a lot about it, and I've had it on my heart that that's something that I need to push as well, is that telling my audience, hey, if you're not somebody of faith, just try giving it a chance to read the scriptures. Just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean it's not good use for wisdom and knowledge. You have the best wisdom and knowledge out there because it's coming from the creator that made everything. And hell, you know some things. So just read. Just read a sentence. Download the Bible app on your phone. It's free. Just read a sentence. Read a paragraph, read a book. Some books are small, like James is a very small book. Just read it and see what it does for you and see how your day goes. Start off by reading scripture and just let me know how your day goes. Even if you're not a person of faith, after the show, go to a quiet place, pray just for like 1 minute, then read some scripture, take a deep breath, and let me know how your day goes. Send me an email and say, Brad, that worked, or Brad, it didn't work. Let me know. With that being said, we'll be back here later today for Dark MAGA, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's closed off for those that are sometimes my brain's going a mile a minute. It's closed off for those that are Rumble Premium content holders. So to become that, you got to join Rumble Premium, which is a great thing to sign up for, by the way. You don't want to give your subscription stuff to like Disney Plus and all these people that are pushing trans agenda like Netflix on your kids. Okay. You want to support a platform that's for free speech. That's Rumble, by the way. And then if you don't want to pay the $9.99 or the $99.99 rather, you could join me by just becoming a content like subscriber to me personally over on Rumble, and then you could join Rumble Premium that way. So that's $4.99 a month or something like that. Unless you know where it's going to me, which is going back into the show and helps us pay for everything that we use here. And it's always appreciated. And by the way, if you want to make a donation, like, well, Brad, I don't want to do Rumble, I don't want to do YouTube. A lot of you have been doing the website, by the way. Thank you, because we get most of the proceeds from the website. So I'm gonna plug this really quick and don't feel like you have to, please. We're not out here panhandling and begging, but you feel like you're making a difference or you want to make a difference and help a conservative out. You can go here to this link that I'm giving all of you in the chat. And if you go to the website here, donate at the top. You could do one-time donation, weekly, monthly. And if you do monthly, it will just go through normally and we get 97% of the money. YouTube takes like 30, 40% or some crazy amount like that. And then Rumble takes like 20, 30. I can't remember. Here we get almost all of it. So I always recommend people go through the website. I know you guys want the badges and stuff like that. Folks, I know who you are. I know everybody in my chat to the point when there's a new name in there. I'm like, hey, or like Shib was in here yesterday. We haven't seen Shib for a while. I noticed when Shib was here. So I know your guys' names already, okay? Just because I don't say this person, this person, this person. I know you. With that being said, God bless you. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for this country. Pray for peace. And pray for the peace that's going on over there between Israel and Hamas, that it actually goes through and we can, get a breath of fresh air now and people's lives can actually be lived out in a peaceful manner. God bless you, Patriots.